Now in today's video, let's go to the island of Madeira, which by the way is a Portuguese island, which we have right in front of us. And we're obviously going to talk about its airport, which by the way is now named after the famous football player Cristiano Ronaldo. Now what can I say, this airport is very, well, interesting. You know, it actually counts as one of the most dangerous airports in Europe. And well, yeah, today let's actually find out why that is and, you know, fly some planes here. This is going to be quite an interesting video. Now this airport opened all the way back in 1964 and it only had a 1600-meter runway, which is obviously not very long. Pretty much any international airport has a runway that is at least twice as long as that. And you know, back in the days when this airport was opened, it was really only restricted to these 1600 meters because this airport is placed on this like foreland that is jutting out to sea, and this foreland is only 1600 meters long. Now after several incidents and accidents, actually a few fatal ones as well, they decided to expand the runway. And yes, they did something very exceptional. Let me just show you that one. Yeah, here in the flight simulator you cannot really see it, but in real life you obviously do. This is what the airport looks like in real life. And yeah, this is the runway extension here. As you can see, we have this concrete platform that is held up into the air by these 180 concrete columns, which was, by the way, the only way to somehow get some runway extension. And it works quite well. It's actually very exceptional. It's the only airport that has that, really, or at least back in the days when the extension was built. Yet they extended the runway in the year of 2000. It is now 2600 meters long, which is still not very long, you know. That's still below average, you know, for such an international airport with actual airliner service to it. You know, we can see some A320s, some 737s on the ramp, but it's gonna be enough, I guess, right? So the runway problem is mostly out of the way, but there's still another very dangerous problem about this airport, and it's the wind. I mean, obviously we are in the Atlantic Ocean, and you know, if you are at the Atlantic Ocean, it's pretty much always going to be windy. You have some very big crosswinds, mostly some wind shear into the approach. This really doesn't make a comfortable landing, and also not a very soft landing, let's just say that. Also, if you approach runway 05, you have terrain in the way, which is why pilots have to come in this way, you know, you can follow the mouse cursor, and then turn right very steeply. You know, you have to do a very steep turn into runway 05. This is not a very comfortable approach. Actually, you can see the approach lights. This kind of reminds me of Kai Tak in Hong Kong. You know, Kai Tak Airport used to be in the middle of the city, and in order to avoid mountains and buildings, obviously, the pilots also had to do a very steep turn right before the actual landing. Now, let's actually do that landing, not in this plane, but in a plane that is quite common at this airport, and that's the 737. Let's actually try the 737 MAX 10. I like this plane a lot, actually. Alright, so we are approaching the runway in the MAX 10. The winds are quite tough. As you can see, we have 11 knots of straight crosswind, really. This is gonna hit real hard. Let's see if I can find the approach lights. Here they are, right in front of us. Yeah, due to the terrain here, you also have a lot of wind shear, which basically means that the direction of where the wind comes from changes a lot, which is very toxic for a plane. Let's get the turn right. Oh my goodness, that was too far. Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness. Alright, now MCAS came into play for some reason. Did I just really crash the plane? Jeez. Alright, let's pretend this didn't happen and just come in for a landing here. Yeah, this turn is quite tough. Alright, as you can see, there's this barrier in front of the runway, which is obviously to protect the cars in front of the runway from the blast coming from the jet engines. Right, actually that was not bad. Oh, yeah, and stopping is also not an issue with this plane. As we have found out in previous videos, the 737 is quite a tough plane. It is quite maneuverable, like it's pretty decent, which is perfect for this approach, obviously. Let's check out that touchdown. Here we have some very thick wing flex. Oh, wow, that was okay. I mean, that was alright. It was a safe landing. We also stopped, so that's fine. No, whatever. Let's just try a bigger plane. Let's try something like the A350. Now, honestly, I do like to avoid Airbus planes on this channel. No, first of all, because there are not that many good Airbus planes for the X-Plane, for the flight simulator. And also, they're not that great with doing steep turns, you know? In general, the fly-by-wire system of the Airbus, it doesn't like to be flown directly into terrain, right? You know, which is something that we are actually doing right now, and that was my mouse. Yeah, we'll probably have to really fight against the plane to turn.
Caution terrain.
Right, the runway is on the right. Let's get ready for the turn. Alright, there we go. We actually do have some slight tailwind as well. That's not very good.
Pull up.
Ouch! Come on. Alright, yeah, this was an overrun. I don't know what's wrong with this one. Ooh, we have actually crashed now. Jesus Christ. Alright, here is the very infamous steep turn. And there we go. Oh, nose gear first. That was really not good. I think that was the tailwind playing with us. The plane just didn't really want to come down. In this case, he would have definitely gone around. Also, for some reason, the reverse thrusters didn't want to come out. And, well, that was a crash now. Alright, let's try something like the 777 now. And again, we're flying the aircraft right against the mountain, right? Oh no, that's a crash again. Jeez. Alright, let's just pretend we did a very successful turn. This is really not easy. In fact, actually, pilots need special certification in order to land here, which definitely makes sense. That was really not nice. Yeah, it is not very unusual for planes to do a lot of go-arounds before actually landing for the final time. And we actually hear some clapping in the background. That's pretty nice. Alright, here's the landing. Jesus. I really messed up there, didn't I? Ouch, that landing gear. Yeah, that wind shear was very, very tough. The wind was initially coming from the right, but suddenly we had headwind, which completely destroyed this landing. But we have stopped, that's okay. But let's try a bigger plane now. Let's try the 747. I think there have actually been 747s at this airport, even though I'm not very comfortable with flying such a plane here. You know, the bigger the plane, the less maneuverable. I think we now have direct wind from the right. This is gonna be pretty interesting. Now, by the way, this airport does not have any ILS systems, so there cannot be any clouds or anything. I think fog is actually quite common at this airport, or at least rain. This is quite a rainy island.
Pull up. Terrain.
Why is there a hot air balloon there? Jesus.
Rain.
Alright, there we go.
Pull up.
Oh wow, I'm sorry for the landing here. The 747, it is quite a quick stopper, so no worries. There we go, that was actually fine. Again, we did land with some tailwind again. As you can see, it's actually lifting up the right side of the plane slightly, which is why it's kind of banked to the left now. But yeah, other than that, this landing was fine. It does look very, very spectacular and well, dangerous, doesn't it? Now, the cool thing about this airport is that it's quite accessible. There are quite a lot of airlines actually flying to this airport. You can pretty much fly to this island, or this airport more specifically, from any country in Europe, I guess. You know, there's EasyJet, British Airways, Condor, Lufthansa, Scandinavian Airlines as well, SmartWings Air Portugal, of course, and TUI Airlines. Yeah, there's a lot of airlines flying to this place, really. And well, does it deserve to be counted as one of the most dangerous airports in Europe? I think it does. It is obviously pretty dangerous. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't need that very special certificate to fly to this place even, so that definitely makes sense. And yeah, so yeah guys, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.